Hi, I'm Felicity. I was born into a non-Christian family. They chose to send me to an Anglican school because they thought they'd like the morals and the values it instilled and everything like that. So I went off an agnostic to an Anglican school and ended up in quite a lot of arguments with people. That's the way I like to understand things. I like to argue my way through it. So I think I developed quite a reputation as like a crazy atheist kid, but I never was. When I was in year 12, I started going out with a boy who was very involved in the Christian church. I decided to start coming to St. Paul's on a weekly basis because I knew how important it was to him and I wanted to understand something that was really central to his life. It raised a lot of issues that a Christian was going out with a non-Christian, and a lot of people started to kind of take it upon themselves to judge the situation. Heard a lot of what was said and it was really upsetting. I started to feel very lonely and very angry about that. And I felt like no one was kind of answering my prayers because at that stage I was really trying to get to know God and to find Him, but it wasn't working. Like, I remember a lot of times kind of sitting on my bed and crying out to God and feeling like no one was answering me, and I was so disheartened by it because there are so many verses I've heard in the Bible. If you call to God, He will answer you, but I called so many times and no one answered, and I felt kind of ostracized because I came to church each week. Everyone I knew was here and they were all like tapped into this thing that seemed so incredible, and I was like banging on the door trying to get in, but it just like no one would let me in. And the turning point came actually at this big thing, but last year. The song started and I just started crying, and I don't know why. Like, I wasn't sad or I wasn't happy or anything. I was just crying uncontrollably. And then the speaker began to give his speech, and I remember just feeling like it was the truth, like it was just right. There was nothing about it that I wanted to kind of to poke at or to change or to niggle with. It was just the truth. And so the time came and we could fill out the cards and we ticked the box corresponding to our relationship with Jesus. So I ticked the one that said I want to get to know Him. And then I went down the front and met the Hello team and everything like that. The scariest thing I've ever done, I think. After I made that decision, I just felt so peaceful. It felt like everything kind of clicked into place. And suddenly I had this new perspective and I just understood. I'm gonna sound like such a nut for saying this, but it just felt white, like the color white as a feeling. And that's the craziest thing. It was like bright and warm and just enveloped you, and all like the frustration, the anger and the fear was kind of lifted away. And I remember the first time I opened the Bible after that night, everything was different. Like, they were the same words, but I suddenly understood them, whereas at school they just seemed really abstract. The best example for me of that was 1 John 4:8, and it basically says, whoever does not know love does not know God, because God is love. It just blew my mind because I understood that God is love. Like, all the love I feel and have ever felt and will ever feel comes from God and is a manifestation of God that I've received through Christ. And that's still the most incredible kind of thing I think I'll ever understand. Whenever I kind of stray or stumble or find it hard, I find the best thing for me to do is just to tap back into that love, because it'll take you back to the source, back to the Creator.